by principle. You are not bound by precedent. Sorry, you're not bound by precedent. Just because that is what happened doesn't mean you have to continue to play the record. Continue to play the record, continue to play the record, continue to play the record. You don't have to continue. You can take it off so it doesn't continue to skip, and you can change the record. For those who know what records are, there may be some people there who are young enough to not know what a record is. To change the record and put an entirely different symphony on and be the soundtrack of our lives. We get to choose how we are going to live, move, and have our being. That's what it means to set and design a new blueprint. I do not have to live by the blueprint of the home, of how I lived, of the thoughts I once thought. I could think a thought I never thought before, and then I'd sit and think some more. I would not be just a nothing, my head all full of stuff and my heart all full of pain, because I would know that there is spirit, and that spirit is moving in, through, and as all that I am and all that I do. And when we anchor into that, and that is the key to how we practice and how we move and live and have our beingness moment by moment. Because that's the key, moment by moment, when the trigger happens, because we're going to be triggered. Whatever the trigger is, I don't care what it is. It could be trauma from past, it could be family, like Ram Dass says. You want to know how enlightened you are? Spend a weekend with the family. Like, it could be family, it could be the news, it could be politics, it could be anything, Facebook, Instagram, doesn't matter what the trigger is. When the trigger happens, recognize it for what it is, an opportunity to evolve, an opportunity to anchor, an opportunity to settle, an opportunity to tap into the timeless wisdom and evolutionary vision that has been established and grounded through the predecessors and the legacy that we have been given forever and ever and ever into this moment right now. Because I say forever and ever, because that which Ernest Holmes learned, knew, meditated on, and developed existed beyond time. There is only that which God is. And we recognize, we say in our declaration of principles, our declaration of what we believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with this indwelling, all-dwelling God. So Ernest Holmes was living in that way, in close contact with the truth that is beyond time, is not bound by time. It is timeless wisdom itself. And so how do we bring that wisdom into this moment when the trigger happens? How do we embody it? How do we share it? How do we bring it to family, friends, and community? How do we live in such a way that we understand what it means, that we believe that heaven is within us, and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it, and that we will not only experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it, that we will experience and express it, manifest it, and demonstrate it as an external thing. We will bring heaven into the concretized, incarnate experience here on earth, so that our children's children will read about war in history books as a thing of the past, because it is a world that works for all. They will read about, did you know that in the early 2020s, there was a thing called racism, sexism, and homophobia? And they will say, wow, granddad, grandma, how did you ever? Well, what we did was we anchored in spiritual practice. We walked the walk. We chose to get into good trouble and necessary trouble because we wade in the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the waters. Those waters that are troubled are the waters where healing exists. Are we willing to step into the healing waters of good trouble, bringing timeless wisdom and evolutionary vision into each of the moments, in each interaction, each conversation, each email, each phone call, each bill that we bless and send, in everything that we, each breath? each prayer, each hug and each handshake, each mask that we wear until such time as that is not necessary. When we bring timeless wisdom and evolutionary vision into each of these moments, then we will know, we will recognize, and we will live in accordance to a world that works for all. The vision will need to be recast because that vision will be what we are living. That vision will be what we are being. That vision will be an incarnated experience for all. And then we'll need to recast the new vision because we understand and we recognize that we believe that all of these things, conditions that we believe we will be emancipated from every discord of every nature, and that this is sure to be attained by all. And so let us anchor in prayer, recognizing and knowing that all forms of discord, all forms of dis-ease, disharmony, disillusionment, we release them and let them go and anchor into this breath. This breath, recognizing that we are not breathing ourselves. We are not saving this breath for a rainy day. We are not breathing for tomorrow or rebreathing yesterday, but only breathing this moment right here and right now. This present breath anchors us into this present moment where we surrender and let God breathe itself as each one of us. And it is from this place of surrender and this place of presence in the present that I speak what I know. God in me, as me, is me. And what is true for me is true for everyone hearing these words, either live now on Sunday or the recording later. God in me, as me, is me. There is only that which God is, an infinite circle whose circumference is nowhere, whose center is everywhere. Therefore, precisely where I am, the center of God is. Precisely where each person is, the center of God is. Life itself. Love itself, centered, grounded, living, moving, and being, each individualized expression. And knowing this, then I know that the timeless wisdom of spirit must be right where each center of God is as well. Because there cannot be a place where there is timeless wisdom as God and another place where it's timed, not wisdom, but timed intelligence. Like that doesn't exist. It can't exist. There can only be the infinite powerful presence of the all that is in, through, and as each being, each person, each tree, each dog, each cat, each blade of grass, each apple, each lemon, each house, each everything, to such a degree that when I see a bird fly, I know that this is God seeing itself taking flight. That when I feel the breeze, I know that this is God feeling the brush of the embrace of spirit, reminding this incarnation, be cool, be refreshed, be relaxed. I anchor and celebrate this, knowing this awareness, because I know that that which God is, I am. I am that which God is in this ever evolving, ever expanding consciousness. And it is the gratitude that I feel, the power and the presence, the emotion that I bring to this, because I know that my tongue, my expression has the power of life and death in it. So I speak life and life affirmingness, not simply for myself, but for every incarnation of God. I speak the abundance and the power and the health and the well-being that I know that 2021 right here, right now is being and bringing more and more of itself to, through, and as each person, each presence of God, each individualized incarnation. And I celebrate in gratitude knowing this power, this presence, this love, this joy, this divine spiritual magnificence, this evolutionary vision showing itself in, through, and as each body, each thought, each word, each feeling, each way the hands serve and each way the body walks the walk. So in this moment of groundedness, I surrender this treatment because I know that these words are not simply the words of Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson, but that they are words of spirit speaking about itself, through itself, and now into the law of itself. That means this prayer is already fully formed and fully functioning in the mind of God. That means this prayer is already done. And knowing it is done, I surrender it and allow it to be. I step back and marvel at the magnificent way that God shows up in, through, and as a world that works for all. And so it is. Namaste and blessings, my beloved family. Take care. Happy New Year.